variationless stuff with Leatherface is generally quite unsafe, and Killer basically makes all of it safe. The only issue with it is that it's meter intensive, right? The Killer stance, you can basically cancel Killer stance off anything, and you can cancel Killer stance off anything and combo off it, as long as you've got the meter to meter burn the 1 off that. But obviously, if you've not got no bar, your damage output off those options might be limited. By the way, this is K-Top giving us some swag while we wait. Just thought I'd give you that piece of information.
Well, a little insight. I think the Leatherface was one of the things he struggled with before the big change. Was he didn't have a mid that he could rely on. But now that no characters really have an all-purpose go-to mid that they can rely on, he's kind of balanced out with the rest of the cast.
I almost think that it's almost the Cyrex syndrome of Cyrex's old armor was useless, or quite possibly, up there with one of the worst armored attacks in the whole game pre-patch. But since the patch, it's now, quite decent by modern comparison to other moves. And Leatherface kind of caters to that as well. So this patch, they took a lot of powerful mids away. There's a lot of options that characters used to have that gave him a hard time because everyone else had it and he didn't. But now so little characters have it, I don't know. I guess it's the same thing in essence.
Okay,
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I am very excited to once again introduce everybody to this week's MKXL EU Community Cup. I believe this is week number 9, and we've got our first semi-final underway. It's going to be H-Dope, K-Top's sort of like, well, I would say other half, but it's brother, really. It's you and me. It's you and me, but in Greece, with H-Dope and K-Top. 2 brothers that, they've been competing since MKX came out and playing really strong. H-Dope is playing this week, and he is going to be facing off against DeVastinG, who is last week's champion. So we're going to see Hat-Trick versus Killer Leatherface. I don't even think I've ever seen this matchup before. Mustard and myself on commentary, joined by Use for Glue to help analyse in between games. Let's get stuck in.
Now, I was going to say it, but you've said it already. Hat-Trick versus Killer. This is 2016. We are like weeks away from the new year, and this is one of the final tournament sets we're going to see of Mortal Kombat X in EU, and it's Killer versus Hat-Trick. This is exciting.
Ooh, now,
wow,
that's
bravery straight away.
That is almost immediately showing us one of the strengths of Killer in particular. Oh, nice, catching that as well. That's going to be really respectable damage. Goes in for the jump-in reset almost immediately, not cashing out full damage and going for the on-hit reset. Very stable to Killer if you've got the bar to make it work.
It's interesting to see just how much damage Killer can do. Even if you go for the reset situation, you've already done 33% for a bar. Starting off the running saw as well. It's not even a bad deal. And wow, there's the projectile immunity. Makes the hat completely miss. That could be crucial in the matchup. If you can just go into stance to make these hat recall shenanigans not work, then that is going to be really important for DeVastinG to shut down.
Well, it's going to be quite an interesting matchup that we see almost immediately. H-Dope is ready for those jump-ins. Leatherface has a really good down 2. It's probably not one of the best in the game, but I mean, it's got a good amount of speed. Hitbox on it is really good, so if you're quick with it, you will challenge that sort of air mobility. But almost immediately, DeVastinG going in, using that hat-trick pressure. You kind of have to be a little bit crazy with this variation, I think. I mean, so much of his pressure is minus if it's blocked, but not super minus, so you might be able to get away with a cheeky poke or a button press, or something like that, where you will check people with that meter burn hat toss. A very sort of staple tool. And there we go. Oh, good block, but challenge for the spin.
I really like that setup into the low hat, and there is a wonderful whiff punish
dirty
from DeVastinG,
stuff, isn't it? Because you're expecting an overhead jump in, and then last minute just throws a spanner in the works, and then a low hat comes out.
Plus, it's so cool as well. It's just so really neat to see.
It does look incredibly stylish.
I do like how H-Dope's answer to the no mid situation is just cancelling most of his pokes into the Berserker stance, because it's making DeVastinG have to respect the option that maybe a special was coming there. And that's a nice answer from DeVastinG to get out, but Costas, H-Dope chases it down, and that's going to be putting him in a really good situation. Big damage coming out. Will he go for a reset, or is he just going to straight up cash out?
And there's the unblockable reset. That is going to be good death right there. And yeah, the unblockable, when you meter burn it, does like, what, 20-something% damage for one single hit?
I mean, he did 22 and then he died, so
yeah.
I don't even know if it does more than that. But still, I mean, 22% for an unblockable attack in that situation, that's quite terrifying to deal with.
So, Glue, have you seen this matchup ever?
I don't think so, but I think I have a grasp of the issue that Kung Lao's going to have here. Is that after that stance into stance 1, that's totally safe and knocks him back. He's constantly setting the game at neutral all the time, and that's, I don't know if that's where DeVastinG sort of thrives at that point. So I think in this match, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't rinse that stance back to back, just to see if the DeVastinG man has an answer for it.
Well, it does look like he's opting to maybe go to Tempest, so I think he's recognised immediately that this matchup could be unfavourable. However, he is going back to hat trick. I mean, let's not forget, it's a 3 out of 5 set, so he does have a bunch of games left to go to run this matchup out. Because DeVastinG man, hat trick is definitely his main, so the fact that he's not run away from it straight away isn't a huge surprise. But he's got a couple of games yet to make up for it, so I have to wait and see. Because it's also the range it puts him out. Once you block that running lunge from Berserker stance, it's just, like you said, it's resetting it to neutral. It's not really somewhere he needs to be.
Oh, and there we go, those sort of poke wars. Checking the down 3 into the stance. If you're going to let go of block, thinking it's your turn to block, there is the hit. Sorry, you're probably going to eat that one. Kind of dangerous. But I mean, this is a situation where we're going to see what H-Stop has, because he's not got bar here. So this is an interesting situation to be in.
Nice anti-air.
Yeah, if you want to stay safe, your damage output as killer in this situation is going to be extremely meager. And DeVastinG just going in, pressuring. He knows that if there's no bar, he has nothing to fear. And he's going to go in, check. He's not going to get a full combo off that because he's not going to get it. Nice catch on the meat burn teleport. And
instant dive kick, but no follow-up for a combo. I don't think DeVastinG man was quite ready for it to connect, but would have been death on block. Or catches him.
And now that's actually one of the killer specials. Sort of the slight delay on the stance one. Oh, wow, the reset. Was that even intentional?
What?
Now, I think...
What happened?
Now, I think what was supposed to happen there was H-Dope tried to go for a combo. I think it dropped, but DeVastinG man was just pressing buttons. He just got hit and gave him a reset.
If you get restood and you're not holding block, then you are going to eat full damage. A nice combo from H-Dope. Drops it, unfortunately, so misses out on it. DeVastinG man gets it. A full combo from the overhead. Knocked down as well. 25%, not a huge amount of damage, but definitely something to condition with. But that's something, like, because the hat is out,
nice with punish on that forward one, catching the dive kick, gets knocked down, good pressure, again challenging it. He's really piece by piece. That's going to be a full combo, and dare I say it, that is absolutely going to be the round. Not much you can do to prevent that. I mean, you kind of understand that H-Dope did the delay wake up there, but not much you could do in that situation.
I must admit, though,
dangerous.
I do like...
I was about to say it's dangerous that H-Dope has 2 bars, and he's going to spend one of them right now. The question is he going to cash out, or is he going to go for a reset? We'll have to see.
I do like the mind game, and that's nice execution on that max damage B&B
so
from H-Dope,
much damage when you max it out. And again, he's got no bar to break.
I like the mind game, though, with hat trick. Like, as soon as you've got that hat on the screen, it makes the opponent want to block, because when you're recalling it as much as DeVastinG man is, it just makes you think a button's coming. But he is going to disrespect there. That's going to guarantee him something on hit. That's guaranteed chip.
Yeah.
No, not even needed.
Doesn't even need it right there. Looking really good. And it's basically, I find it's quite interesting to watch. H-Dope
flawless as well.
Yeah, H-Dope comes online when he's got bar. You know, when he has the meter to spend, and that's when he's going to start being aggressive. He's sort of feeling him out in the neutral, but it seems like we almost never see H-Dope without bar to spend, which is good, because it means that if you've got 1 bar of meter, as I said before, anything you do will become safe on block, and will be a full combo on hit, because you're obviously going to do whatever would be unsafe before. You cancel it into the stance, and then you do the 1 into a full combo at the cost of one of those bars. But without it...
Well, he's actually saving his meter well, because
I agree.
He's
completely.
not really using any reversals. Even when he's on the defense, he's kind of just... He knows when he can poke out, and a lot of hat trick players will kind of thrive on doing something on block into hat and, overwhelming you, maybe going straight for a recall. But H-Dope seems to know when he can and can't get a free poke in there to stop that from being a thing. So he's not needing to reversal. He's just hitting him with a poke to make it his turn point blank, which is then giving the opportunity to spend some bar. He's doing pokes into pokes because he's trying to condition him to press buttons so he can start doing pokes into that.
That was the start of the first game.
There's a really good example of H-Dope just conditioning really well and just running away with it as soon as he knows that DeVastinG man is... Wow, that is a really good answer, actually.
I feel like DeVastinG just does not seem very familiar with this matchup either. He's just getting tagged by just stuff like that. Just H-Dope just not giving him room to do anything. Another poke into the killer stance 1. He just has no room to breathe at all. Doesn't even get a full combo. I don't even think he was ready for that orbiting hat to connect. He's going to get... Trying to get out of the corner, but he's going to spend the bar. That's going to secure it. No,
doesn't even want to. I actually think he wants to build as much bar as possible in the rest of this round, because he doesn't look like he's threatened at all.
No,
and there's the drop. That is really unfortunate.
Now, I was about to say, if H-Dope didn't spend the bar right there. And he got the 4-4 off the orbiting hat when DeVastinG caught him. Could have been a great comeback. It could have almost made him regret not spending the meter, but he just doesn't even need to. And that is a great answer. The invincibility. One thing we have to wonder is, the projectile invincibility on the killer stance, is that actually applicable to the hat as well? It does make the hat disappear. Yeah,
I guess if it counts as a projectile, then sure. I mean, the chainsaw isn't gonna hurt him. The chainsaw is completely free to hit the opponent with. So if he just goes straight through the orbiting hat, it's gonna blow straight through it. This could be a nice restand. Is he going to cash out? No, he drops it, unfortunately.
I think he got a little bit... Oh, wow. He got a little bit greedy right there, trying to go for an extra one, but I don't even think the drop was all important. I mean, here he is again, and that's going to be game over. He's not going to build he's not going to build any breaker here. He's going to be free to the mix up. I don't know what the combo might actually kill. He's maxing it out. No, that's death. That is absolutely death. And a 3-0 from H-Dope. Very, very convincingly breezing into grand finals with Killer Leatherface. Something we just haven't seen.
That was 43% off of a wayward 2 from forward 1-2. I mean, that's the kind of loss to Leatherface that can be quite frustrating when you get tagged by an attack from that far away and it results in 43%. Because that's mysterious damage. That just comes out of nowhere. You get tagged and you think, that's cool, I'll be fine. This is just a conversion. And then, yep, you're dead. Just like that. Wonderful play. I'm actually really happy to see a character like Leatherface now because, like I said, we don't see him too often in EU. And H-Dope has always been quite a sound player, but much like K-Top, he definitely has improved since we last saw him in Season 2. So they've been putting the work in, and his reward this week is minimum grand finals.
I think he played really well. It was fun to see Leatherface in action. Killer, probably one of the funnest characters in the game to watch, in my opinion. And we're going to get this other semi-final set up. But, I mean, Glue, when we watched that right there, Killer Leatherface versus Hat-Trick Lau, we saw elements of DeVastinG.
It was more Tempest.
And he switched to Tempest. But the interesting thing I think I noticed was, when projectiles fly across Tempest and it gets rid of the orbiting hat, I'm pretty sure I saw that Killer Stance 1 delete hat every time.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think it's a hitbox. It's definitely a hitbox issue where Leatherface isn't ever going to get actually touched by the hat because of the saw hitbox is too far in front. So it's going to trade with the hat. And I should have jumped in and said that at some point, but the hat's never going to win. The saw is always going to win, which is interesting. But just the things about the match that I noticed was from playing against the DeVastinG man. A lot of times, just one of his biggest issues is his failure to see a threat that the other opponent has. He's just so focused with doing his own thing that once it stops working, it closes the door on him. And that was just a really solid Leatherface. Of course, there was the only other thing I recognized was if Hat-Trick was to get the lead, and he finishes a combo with straight hat, or finishes the combo with the hat toss and leaves it out there. Leatherface actually can't do anything about that. He could have just had a better footsie game. He could have occupied two spaces at the one time, but he never did it. But it's just because he's trying to play the game so fast. But it was a really fun set. I'll tell you that. I enjoyed watching that.
It was a very nice surprise. It is always interesting when players that we haven't seen for a while come back and show that they've clearly improved, and that's a consistent thing we've seen across all the weeks. Be it Nausea, we didn't get a chance to see too much of early on in the year, aside from Scottish locals. He's now doing well. K-Top and H-Dope, both of them looking good. Mirko's looking good, and obviously DeVastinG man winning last week was good because he's a player we haven't seen anything of period before this, and I'm happy that it's continuing. We'll get our next semi-final up soon. Brian, do you know who is in our second semi-final?
Yeah, it's actually set. In the process of setting it up.